I think my ex, 27M of 4 years ago, broke into my apartment and set up a camera. Am I being crazy? I met my ex 7 years ago, and we dated for about 1 year, and I ended up pregnant. He is a Jehovah's Witness, and I was raised in this but was never baptized. When I ended up pregnant, I was told that I had to marry him if I wanted to be in good standing at the Kingdom Hall Church. I agreed and decided not to listen to my parents when they begged me to take my time and make that decision later. Of course, this meant staying and living with my parents, and as a brainwashed 18-year-old, I thought he was the best thing that's ever happened to me, and he couldn't do me wrong because he was a Jehovah's Witness. Boy, was I wrong. While pregnant, he would emotionally and physically abuse me, to the point where my son was premature and I fell into postpartum depression. When my son was 8 months old, I decided I had enough, and I needed to put my feelings and love I had for this man aside and make the right decision for my son. I left him. I left the religion. I don't know how I did it, but to this day, I thank my son for giving me the strength and love to get past it. Fast forward about 5 years. I am doing great. I have an amazing career. Great car. I live on my own with my son. We have everything we need. I recently began my first relationship, and he's amazing. My ex and I actually have a pretty cordial co-parenting relationship. He seems to have matured a lot and is now in a relationship. I get along great with his GF, and my son likes her. He recently decided to move 2 doors next to my place. I didn't really mind this. I actually saw this as a good thing since he will be closer to our son and can be more involved in school. Last week I walk into my apartment and someone had broken in, but they didn't take anything at all. A few stuff were moved around. Seemed like they were looking for something and gave up. The first thing that popped in my head was my son's father. I have been living here for years and never had any issues. I actually live in front of the police station, so unless you go in through the back, they would see everything. I filed a police report and left it at that. Now this is where it gets weird, and my suspicion is proving itself to be right. I dropped off my son at his house 3 days ago, and he mentioned how I shouldn't allow our son to have certain toys because they are violent action figures. There is no way he would know this. Since he is religious, I don't like disrespecting his beliefs, so I make sure that my son does not bring those toys to his house. When I asked him how he knew about it, he turned pale. He didn't know what to say, and finally said that my son mentioned it. To add to my suspicion, 2 days ago, I dropped my son off in the AM, and he slipped and told me that I need to shower my son every day because last night I didn't. There is no way my son could have told him. He didn't speak to him, and it was literally the morning after. Also, I shower my son every day, but he had swim class and we got home late, so I figured he was okay to skip. Am I being paranoid?